The nights in Tungenes were longer than memory, stretching like black silk stitched with stars. High atop the cliffside observatory, beneath a dome that sliced the heavens, Dr. Elias Verner worked in shadows and silence. The wind whispered through ancient pine, and the sea below exhaled in glacial rhythm. Elias had once been a man of recognition, a bioacoustics prodigy, celebrated at the European Astrobiological Forum, praised for decoding microbial resonance signatures in extremophilic life forms. But acclaim faded like star trails. After his wife Livia disappeared during an expedition in the Sahara, Elias turned inward, retreating to this northern bastion. Her final transmission had ended with a tone, a pure, unwavering note at 43.2 Hz, that haunted him still. For 7 years he had listened. That night, the signal returned. It trembled through the equipment like a ghost's breath, subtle yet deliberate. Not radio, not electromagnetic, but something else, vibrational, intimate, alive. Elias stared at the monitor as the frequency pulsed again. 43.2 Hz rhythmic, biologic. A heartbeat? He rushed outside, snow crunching underfoot. The auroras writhed above, emerald serpents in cosmic ballet. Then, from the tree line, a figure emerged. She stood in silence, framed by silver mist and the blue-green glow of ionized sky. Her height was unnatural, nearly 2 meters, and her movements fluid, like water learning to walk. Platinum hair cascaded down a robe of woven starlight, and her skin shimmered pale gold beneath the celestial curtain. But it was her eyes that held him, pale as glacial ice, vast as nebulae, and human. She did not speak. Instead, Elias felt her. Memories that were not his, visions of crystalline cities buried in Arctic ice, of temples orbiting dead suns, of a child, part alien, part man, holding both their hands beneath twin moons. "I am Astraea," she whispered inside his thoughts. "You called. I came." His world tilted. The frequency had not been a message. It had been a summoning. They sat in the warmth of the observatory, shadows dancing across glass and steel. Astraea studied the machines with reverence, as though each capacitor held sacred fire. "You are more advanced than your wars suggest," she said aloud now, her voice like wind through crystal. "But blind still." Elias sipped whiskey, trying not to tremble. "What are you? What do you want from me?" "Not want. Need." She traced a spiral into the frost of the window pane. "We of Lira were once as you, bound to biology, to history. But the stars changed us. We moved between frequencies, shedding density. Some of us returned to guide. Others, corrupted. Corrupted. They became the Drak, the forgotten scales. They took refuge beneath your crust, masquerading in flesh, steering conflict to feed on your fear." Astraea reached into her robe and produced a shard of translucent crystal, which pulsed gently as if aware. "This is a seed. Within it is a code, your genome entwined with mine. A union that must happen." Elias recoiled. "A child? You want me to?" "It is not conception. It is creation. What we forge together will determine the fate of both our kinds. The child will be neither human nor Liran, but Lumyn, heir to 2 frequencies, able to silence the Drak." Outside, the auroras dimmed, flickering as a low rumble echoed across the sea. "They have found us," Astraea said, rising. "We must descend. There is a sanctuary beneath the fjord, a temple older than ice. Beneath layers of rock and myth, through tunnels of obsidian veined with light, Elias followed Astraea into the forgotten heart of the earth. The walls hummed. Symbols, half Nordic rune, half alien glyph, flared to life as she passed. The temple opened like a lung, vast and bioluminescent. At its center floated a sphere of liquid crystal, inside which rotated a double helix of gold and sapphire. "The genome of balance," Astraea said. "Your touch will awaken it." He hesitated. His hand hovered above the orb. Then, her fingers laced with his. Together, they touched it. Light exploded. Memories not his own surged through Elias. Ancient wars in Saturn's rings, alliances with beings of mist, the betrayal of the Drak, and finally, the moment Astraea chose to come to Earth, risking exile, to find him. Their lips met, not as lovers, but as frequencies in resonance. And far above, in the dark spaces between stars, something stirred. The days that followed were drenched in a strange calm, too still, too precise. Elias and Astraea spent them within the temple, decoding the genome's response. Patterns emerged, vibrations echoing into the crystal walls, suggesting the child's blueprint had already begun forming within the field around them. But something was wrong. On the third day, Elias awoke drenched in cold sweat, heart pounding. A dream had scorched itself into his mind. A burning desert, the ruins of a Liran spire, and Livia, his lost wife, screaming in silence as reptilian shadows fed on her memories. He stumbled through the corridor, breathless, calling Astraea's name. She was already waiting, her face pale, eyes dimmed. "They have breached the veil." "Who?" "The Drak. One among them carries a fragment of Livia's essence, taken during her final breath. They will use it to fracture your will." Elias fell to his knees. "She's alive." "No," Astraea said gently. "But she is not entirely gone. They store pain like artifacts, preserving anguish to weaponize it." The temple began to quake. Runes bled light. Astraea turned to the central orb. "We must leave. Now. They are not seeking you. They are seeking it, the genome." As they escaped into the lower caverns, shadows crawled across the walls, elongated, serpentine. One hissed. Elias turned, and in the darkness, he saw her. Livia, or what was left of her. Her eyes glowed with sorrow and rage, her form part human, part something else. The Drak had replicated her voice. "You left me," she whispered, and Elias screamed, not just in fear, but in guilt. The caverns sloped downward until they became submerged ruins, relics of an era predating all human memory. The water glowed faintly, charged with bioplasmic energy. Astraea guided Elias through submerged temples, speaking to the walls in tones too high for human hearing. At the ocean's edge, beneath a glacial shelf, they emerged into a dome of breathable air, an ancient vault built by Liran exiles during the first fracture. "This was our last sanctuary," she murmured, "before the betrayal." Elias approached a crystalline pedestal in the vault's center. As he placed the genome sphere upon it, the vault responded, locking into resonance with the seed's pulse. But Astraea faltered. "You feel it too, don't you?" Elias asked. She nodded. "The betrayal began here. This vault was meant to protect what we created. Instead, it became the prison of our first child." Elias blinked. "You've done this before." Astraea's eyes shimmered with pain. "We tried. A long time ago. His name was Auril, but the genome split him. Half light, half void. The Drak took the void. The light." She faltered, looking to the shadows. "The light still calls me mother." Suddenly, the water surrounding the vault rippled violently. A dark shape loomed beyond the crystal dome, a serpentine mass with eyes like dying stars. A voice, deep, broken, echoed inside Elias's mind. "Mother, you left me too." To be continued.